Kirk Frost's black SUV glides along a quiet neighborhood, its headlights shining through the hazy night. He hums along to the music, tapping the driving wheel with one hand while checks Rashida's text. Text on screen, nearly home. Be safe, Rashida. Suddenly, a black automobile swerves into the lane at full speed. Bam! Tires shriek. Metal crunches. Glass shatters. Kirk's SUV slides out of control, spinning violently and colliding with a light post. INT. Hospital. IQ. Moments later, the sound of flatlines. Monitors beep irregularly. Nurses and physicians rush in as Kirk's corpse remains lifeless on a hospital bed. His face is covered in, his neck is braced, and his limbs are motionless. Dr. Martinez, in a frantic tone, he's critical. Get him stabilized immediately. A nurse turns to Rashida, who is crying violently outside the ICU's glass window. New says, he is not waking up. We are giving him 24 hours. Pray, and T. Rash Kikia's FLASAVACK. Earlier that evening, Kirk had kissed her farewell before leaving. Kara K. Just a quick meeting with the boys, then I'll be back. I promise. RSHEEDA. I will be waiting. Drive safely. The image fades to her screaming in the hospital corridor, attempting to get past security. Rashida sobs. You said you'd be back. You promised. And T. Love and hippie hippie CASTGROP chat. Night JOC text. Have you heard what happened to Kirk? Mimi text. He. Is he okay? Carly read text. They claim it was not an accident. That collision seemed to be premeditated. Jock does not respond. Cut to Jock in his vehicle, watching Kirk's collision on his phone. He clenches his jaw and removes text from his inbox. INT. Mona Scott's production office. Next day, Mona paces, clearly disturbed. Producers gather. Mona, it's not simply a cast injury. This is life or death, and I need answers. Her aide runs in with CCTV footage. A street camera near the collision. Assistant, you'll want to watch this. Mona watches as a dark automobile purposely hits Kirk's SUV. Freeze the frame. Mona, softly. That resembles Jock's automobile. And T. IQ waiting room. Later, the family, cast, and crew assemble. Rashida remains quiet, her eyes red and puffy. She has Kirk's jacket on her lap. Jasmine, do they know who did this? RSHEDA, coldly. If I find out who put this up, they will never see the sun again. INT. FLASUVACK. 2 days AGO Jock and Kirk argued in a studio. Kara K. You've crossed the line, Jock. I instructed you not to mention Moma's name. JOC, mocking. She's already played you. You're simply too blind to see it. Kara K. It's not about her. It all comes down to loyalty, which you plainly lack. JOC, threatening. You think you're untouchable. You just wait. And T. Kirk's respiration is shallow. Machines beep slowly. Rashida sits near him and holds his hand. RSHEEDA, in tears. I need you to fight. For myself, the children, and for us. His eyes do not open. INT. Mona's office, same time. Mona meets privately with security and legal counsel. Mona, if Jock was involved in this, we must remove him from the show. Notify the police. Security. We retrieved some GPS data. Jock's automobile was near the incident location and was speeding. Mona, furious. Bring him in here. Now, and T. Joe sees house. Night Jock sips from a tumbler and anxiously glances over his shoulder. His phone rings. It's Mona. Mona, by phone? Jock, we need to discuss. In person. He hangs up without responding. INT. ICU room. Next morning, slight movement. Kirk's fingers twitched. Nurse, doctor. He's reacting to the stimulation. Rashida rushes to his side. His eyes twitch before gently opening. Kirk weakly. Rashida? R-S-E-D-A, sobbing. I am right here, sweetie. You're all right. You made it. And T. Mona's office. Confrontation Jock eventually arrives. Mona plays the street cam footage. Mona, explain it. Jill C, defensive. People drive insanely in Atlanta all the time. That does not imply it was me. Mona, you were there. Your automobile. Jock, was this on purpose? Jill C, you don't have evidence that I did anything. She stares him down. Mona, not yet. And T. Rashida's confession. Studio R-S-H-E-D-A. This was not an accident. Someone wanted him gone, and I'll find out who. Text on screen. Kirk Frost survived the first night, but the danger is not over. Was it a terrible crash or something darker? Kirk Frost remains in bed, wounded and injured, gradually recovering strength. Rashida sits alongside him, gripping his hand, her expression filled with grief and anger. Kirk, groggy. Sheeta, what happened? R-S-H-E-P-A, you were involved in a collision. They claim it might have been intentional. Kirk's gaze sharpens. He attempts to sit up but winces in agony. Kirk, is it intentional? Concentrated as she scans through files containing film, transcripts, and GPS records. Her helper arrives with further evidence. Assistant, shriek camera, angle 3, a clearer plate. This is Jock's automobile. Monet, if this comes out, it will not just Jock's career, but the whole show. She takes up the phone and calls. INT, Jill C's apartment. Living room. Jock's phone vibrates on the table. He ignores it. He looks at his reflection in the mirror, clearly sweating. A memory occurs. Memory 2 days before crash. Studio argument. Kirk, hangry. You play dirty, Jock. Bringing Mona into it? JOC, bitter. She is keeping you in the limelight, not your music. Kirk, you've crossed the boundary. JOC, cold. You believe you can simply go around like you own Atlanta. The spotlight isn't large enough for both of us. NT, police station, investigation unit. Detective Reynolds pins Kirk's wreck picture on a board. He adds Silas PHCT, young JOC beneath. Read all this. Hit and run with motivation. Rivalry. GPS validates his current location. It's time to bring him in. NT. Hospital waiting room. Jasmine enters gently. Rashida glances up, displeased. RSHEDA, tense. What are you doing here? Jasmine, softly. Kirk is still my baby's father. I needed to see him. They share a long, strained gaze. Jasmine, I have heard about Jock. Do you believe it was him? RSHEDA, I don't think. I understand. NT, backstage. Love and Hinty AOP set. Carly Red and Young Miami discuss the problem. Cara, I've always known Jock had a temper, but that's the next level. UNG Miami. Mona will flip if he is jailed. Suddenly, security rushes by them. INT. Mona Scott's office. Confrontation. Jock storms in. JOC, you called me out in front of everybody. You're trying to cast me as the villain. Monet? If there was nothing to conceal, you wouldn't be hiding. She throws him a printed GPS report. Mona, you were there, Jock? The night Kirk was struck. JOC? Yes, I was there, but I did not touch him. Was it a crash? That's up to destiny. Mona, cold. The police do not believe in destiny. NT. Detective Reynolds' office. He meets Mona privately. Detective Reynolds, we are filing a subpoena for the show's raw footage. Everything was recorded in that week. Mona, you will discover it. Every second, I will not protect anybody. Reynolds, good, because this is no longer simply drama. It's unlawful. NT. Hospital. IQ room. Kirk awakens again, aware. Rashida sits close, going through messages from producers and cast members. Kirk, weakly. If it was Jock, he truly attempted to end me, right? Ash, PDA, resolute. He chose the wrong person to meddle with. I have receipts. She shows him a text written by Carly a week earlier, telling her that Jock was planning something crazy. INT, Joe C's apartment. Later that night, Jock paces while on the phone with a mysterious individual. JLC, things are getting out of control. They believe I did it. Voice on Piazzoni, lie low. Don't say anything. Waters are monitoring everything. JLCC, I didn't intend for it to go this far. Click. The call goes dead. INT. Mona's office. The next day, she organizes an emergency meeting with the actors. Mona, I want everyone to be honest. This program is based on drama, yet actual lives are at risk. Karai, then you should know, Jock was outraged when you gave Kirk the new spin-off position. He said that he was done with finishing second. Gasps echoed across the room. T. Hospital. Lobby journalists thronged the entryway. Reporter shouting, "Can you remark on Jock's involvement? Will Kirk pursue charges?" Rashida rushes through, protecting her eyes from the flashes. INT. Detective Reno Diaz's office at night. The footage arrives. He looks at a hazy video of Jock's automobile rushing down the road behind Kirk. It suddenly jerks to the left, just before the accident. Freeze the frame. Detective addressing himself. Intentional deviance. This was not an accident. INT. Rashida's confessional. Studio RSHEDA. The problem with Jock is that he laughs with you one day and plots against you the next. If he did this, I'll make sure the whole world knows who he is. The truth starts to unfold. Was it jealousy, vengeance, or something sinister? Young Jock sits at a metal table, his brow gleaming with perspiration. Detective Reynolds approaches with a hefty file and a hard glare. Detective Reynolds, we have studied the video. Your automobile was there. You were following Kirk. Let us not play games, Mr. Robinson. JLC, defensive. I did not strike him. Yes, I was driving behind him, but it does not imply I was to blame for the collision. Detective Reynolds. So, why did you abandon the scene? JLC, I panicked. I didn't know what had occurred. I assumed he pulled off someplace. The investigator slips a snapshot of Kirk's wrecked vehicle across the table. Detective Reynolds. He did not pull off. He got struck, spun into a partition, and he vanished. Jock stares down, his quiet convey more than words. INT. Kirk slowly awakens in the hospital's ICU room in the morning. Rashida is sleeping on a chair next to him. A faint tap on the door startled her. Jasmine enters again, cradling their kid. Jasmine, he wanted to see his father. Kirk lunges out, his fingers shaking. The small guy grins. Kirk, weakly, my kid, you arrived. The moment is sensitive and heartfelt. Even Rashida does not interrupt. INT. Love and hippie hopi set. Emergency filming. Mona Scott brings together her core group. Mona, we are capturing everything in real time. No scripts and no trims. If this is the end of our program, we will finish it on the truth. Parlay ready. Then you best prepare for fireworks, because everyone has something to conceal. Young Miami, Jock's collapse is just the beginning. INT. Rashid Diaz's house. That evening, Rashida paces with a tablet displaying security video received anonymously. Footage PIA. Jock's automobile follows Kirk. A harsh shriek. The footage stops immediately before collision. RSHEDA, speaking to herself. You wanted him out of the picture, Jock, but you didn't believe I put the pieces together. Her phone rang. It's Mona. Mona, Rashida, I have watched the footage. We need to discuss. Urgently. INT. Police station. Later, Detective Reynolds sees Mona discreetly. Reynolds. If we can establish intent, this isn't simply a hit and run. It is attempted manslaughter. Mona, you'll receive everything you need. We've got some confessions. Cast members are prepared to testify. We know this. You too will be subpoenaed. Your cameras could have caught everything. Mona nods grudgingly. INT. Hospital. Private room. Night Kirk has finally been taken out of the intensive care unit. He is watching news reports of the disaster from his bed. News anchor. As Kirk Frost recovers, speculations circulate regarding fellow cast member Young Jock's alleged participation. Investigations are underway. He turns to Rashida. Karkay, did he really attempt on me? Rsheda. He did not just attempt. He failed. XT. Atlantic streets. Night Jock drives across the city, hoping to clear his mind. Flashbacks. FLASHBACK1. Mona introduces Kirk to a new program. FLASHBACK2. Kirk exposes Jock's bargain on television. FLASHBACK3. Rashida warns him to stay in his lane. He clutches the wheel firmly. JOC to himself. I did not intend for it to go this far. I just wanted him off my back. And T. Mona's office. Day, Mona records a confession. Mona, on camera. We established this empire on drama, but we never went beyond this point. Jock's actions may have resulted in fatal consequences. It almost did. And T. Courtroom. Pre-trial hearing. Jock appears before the court, accompanied by his counsel. Judge, Young Jock, you have been charged with reckless endangerment and alleged attempted manslaughter. The bail is set at $500,000. Gasps permeate the room. Anxiety in the air. INT. Coercive. Continuous. Young Jock is brought in, clothed formally, but the guilt on his face is palpable. Mona Scott arrives softly and takes the back seat. Judge Daniels. Today, we hear the case of Young Jock, legally known as Jaziel Robinson, who was charged with attempted vehicular manslaughter and reckless endangerment in the death of Mr. Kirk Frost. Defense attorney. My client denies any intent. This was a fatal event that happened during a period of extreme stress and bad judgment. Prosecutor. We seek to prove that this was not an accident. Mr. Robinson followed Mr. Frost, accelerated, and slammed his vehicle in a fit of planned wrath. The footage speaks for itself. The courtroom screen comes to life, broadcasting the security camera footage in quiet. INT. Video play BCK. Moments before the crash. The film shows Jock tailing Kirk. Then, all of a sudden, Kirk's automobile speeds up and collides with the barrier. The audience gasps. Jock shuts his eyes. Kirk whispers to Rashida, "That is the truth." And T. Witness stand. Later, Mona Scott is summoned to testify. Prosecutor. Miss Scott, you run the program Love and Hip Hop, right? Mona. Yes. Prosecutors. Did you see any strange conduct from Mr. Robinson leading up to this event? No, absolutely. He was concerned Kirk was attempting to replace him on the program by exposing agreements. He even said Kirk will pay. I assumed it was just words, but now I'm unsure. Mona moves back, apparently shocked. INT. Witness stand. Rashida testifies. We had troubles with Jock for many months. He was furious that Kirk had revealed his business secrets on broadcast. He felt degraded. There were disagreements off camera. Threats. I didn't expect him to do anything so drastic, yet here we are. And T. Courtroom. Defense Puris and Tate Ion Jock's attorney shows video of him volunteering at charity events and recording pleasant moments. Defense attorney. My client isn't a monster. He made an error. His past, however, demonstrates that he is a community-minded individual. The judge stays expressionless. INT. Kirk's host PITL FLAHBACK. A montage of Kirk in the ITU appears as part of the victim's impact statement. Machines beep. Rashida prays. Kirk's hand scarcely moves prosecutor VO. This is what Mr. Frost went through. This is the suffering his family endured. NT. Coerchurum. Young JOCSP kes he stands slowly, his head down. JOCC. I was mistaken. I had no intention of hurting Kirk, but my rage drove me, literally. I lost control, and I almost cost a guy his life. I apologize, Kirk. I apologize. Rashida, I don't expect forgiveness, but I wanted to express myself. Kirk glances at him softly. Kirk, you nearly separated me from my children, from my wife. That's something I will never forget. And TT. Homework to you, Purulum. Final VERBICT, the jury returns. FOREPERSLN. The jury found Jaciel Young Jock Robinson guilty of reckless endangerment and attempted manslaughter. The courtroom erupted. Rashida breathes a sigh of relief. Jock's head dips. Judge DANIELS. The sentencing will be in 30 days. Mr. Robinson was remanded to jail. Jock is handcuffed and led away. XT. Courthouse is TPS. Moments later, reporters gather around Mona, Kirk, and Rashida. Reporter. Miss Scott, will the Jock plotline be removed from the show? Mona. This program depicts reality. We will not disguise what occurred. However, we shall defend our cast from damage. Reporter 2. Mr. Frost, do you intend to return to filming? Kirk, I have not made a decision. Right now, I am simply grateful to be alive. And T. Love and Happy Studio. 1 week later, Mona addresses the cast. Mona, this has been the most grueling period of our life. Jock's tale finishes differently than we imagined, but the cameras continued rolling, and what we saw wasn't scripted. It was raw. It was genuine. And TT. Kirk and Rashida's home. Final scene, Kirk and Rashida sat down to supper with their children and Jasmine's son. Rashida. It's crazy how something so terrible brought all of us together. Kirk smiles. I suppose we needed to reboot. Perhaps it's time to shift our emphasis away from cameras and onto what really matters. Final montage. Jock sitting in a jail cell, gazing at old images. Mona creating a new spin-off on healing and forgiveness. Rashida launching a new store. Kirk gradually coming to the studio with a cane and beginning again text on screen. Young Jock was condemned to 8 years in prison with the chance of release after 4. Kirk Frost has fully recovered. Mona Scott's new series, Second Chances, will air this autumn.